I'm live. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? I made it. I woke up late, but I made it. It was nice to sleep in. Oh, these rainy days. These rainy days. It feels like here on Long Island, we get like one sunny day a week. And then it's right back to gloom. April showers, whatever. But you know what tomorrow is, don't you? Do you know what tomorrow is? If you don't know what tomorrow is, I'm going to tell you. It's Beltane. Oh, my goodness. It snuck up on us, didn't it? Tomorrow be Beltane, my darlings. Mayday, Mayday. Mayday, Mayday. Oh, my favorite Sabbath in the pagan wheel of the year. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. I mean, when I think of Beltane's past, those that I can remember, most of them are a big Beltane blur. Very happy to do that, to look back and say we are in a different world now. We're definitely in a different world. Even though no longer living in Bayshore, where we used to have parties upwards of 100 people, that dwindled as things went on. But even these past few years, I've been speaking at Beltane in the Park at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Huntington past few years. Melissa Walpole, wonderful being that she has put that all together. Obviously, it's canceled. It's canceled this year. So we won't be doing that. Greetings and salutations. Well, Patty has had his ultrasound, and now he's looking at me like I'm a criminal as I eat a pumpernickel bagel with scallion cream cheese. Well, I've been a bad girl. I've been careless with a delicate man. And it's a sad world. Sorry, I just Fiona Appled you. So you said criminal, and I'm still waking up. Not that I wouldn't have gone for that anyway. Leave that one laying around. Wonder coffee is such a good thing. So welcome to Schmooze Time. 11:31. I'm damn proud of myself considering how quickly I whipped it together. I even did some Wim Hof breathing. I managed to do that. Woke up, looked at the clock, went, okay, here we go. It's going to be one of those days, is it? So it's fine. It's fine. I'm here. I'm queer. You're used to me. We're going to be talking about reality creation. Sort of a continuation from last night, but if you didn't watch last night, that's okay. We're just going to move forward. I'll certainly reiterate some basic points. Some of the basic points I made last night I really condensed in the description for this one. So if you haven't read the description, please go to. Yeah, I do like a big cup of coffee. Well, and somebody I am a Wonder Woman enthusiast. I will not say fan, because fan is short for fanatic, and I don't want to be a fan. I don't be fanatic about anything. Fanaticism is the shadow side of devotion. No thanks. Hard pass, swipe left. No. But I do. It beats going back and forth, right? For more cups of coffee. It's just like, just give me one big one and I'll keep going. I'm a venti kind of boy. No, go there. So tomorrow, the moon is void, of course, practically all day long, right? From 12:04 p.m. onward. So there we go. There you have it. Void, of course, Beltane. That kind of makes sense. And actually, I already have programmed, or I should say scheduled, for my social media platforms. I have this app called Buffer, Buffer. It allows you to schedule, things that you want to post, so you don't have to be there right on the dot to hit the button. I am posting the talks that I have done for the past 3 or 4 years on Beltane, right? There's one there that I did at the Silver Broom. There's one, and then I think there are 2 more that I did at Beltane in the Park, Unitarian Universalist Church, Huntington. Yeah. So if you haven't caught them, they're good. I mean, I'm a good public speaker. I have been. Do you know my first public speaking gig? No lie, 1st grade. I used to say the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning. My very first day of 1st grade, Mrs. Lotz, L-O-T-Z. I remember that name. She was great. She was a great first grade teacher. We had elections, and I was elected first day class president. It was only for a month, right? And it wasn't even a scandalous term. Can you imagine me free of scandal? Yeah. And that was really the main duty was saying the Pledge of Allegiance every morning, which I already knew somehow. But I didn't even put myself up for nomination. This kid who didn't even know me said, I nominate him, and every hand went up. Odd, because I wasn't necessarily a popular kid, but I guess I have that sort of trustworthy vibe. Now a gay purple-haired witch in a hoodie. There you go. Love the giant mug. Yep, 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 yep. You're full of song this morning. Getting there. I'm full of something. Song and coffee. Sounds great. Cool. So I think we have some new people in the room. Welcome, welcome. If you notice some familiarity amongst people here, it's because we are all members of the Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, private Facebook group. And what I mean by private, it doesn't mean you can't find it. You can find it. But once you're in, nobody knows you're in. So I like that. Oh, this coffee is giving me life. You know, you can never find a drag fan when you need one. Oh, there you are. What are you doing over there? I don't know, but you're still stunning. It's not too early for a thwart. It's never too early for a thwart. Nice sweatshirt. Thank you. Janet Grace gave me this. If any of you know Janet Grace, I know some of you know Janet Grace. Because it has Grace on it. It says Grace. What does it say? Faith above me, grace below me, peace around me, light within me. Namyo Horenge Kyo. No, Namyo Horenge Kyo. I did practice Southern Buddhism for a while. Are you familiar with Southern Buddhism? Here's one of the chants. Namyo Horenge Kyo, y'all. Hi. Om, y'all. Did you ever hear a Southern ghost? Boo. Boo, y'all. Yeah. We're going to give this another couple of minutes for people to get in the room and schmooze and all of that. We got a good number of people. We can start talking about this, but we have to start with prayer. You do not want me talking about reality creation from this vibe. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm tempted to put my hair back in a ponytail. Dee posted a picture of Richard Lewis this morning saying that my hair reminded me of his. And though I used to find Richard Lewis very attractive back in the day, never met him. I don't know. I think my hair is better. It's an ego thing. I'll work on it. My hair used to be really long, like all the way down my back long. But not so much anymore. I mean, I am going to have it cut once, I can go have it cut. But I only have it cut by one guy in Brooklyn, in Bushwick, because I trust my hair with hipsters, because obviously hipsters care about hair. And I don't mind an occasional man bun at my age. I think it's fine. I think it's almost appropriate, right? Buddha had one. Well, depending on your version of the Buddha, right? Buddha had a top knot. Had a top knot. Buddha had a top knot. And had a top knot. Oh, that was you, Donna? I thought that was because D is always posting stuff like that. Thank you, darling. It's genetic, sort of. I mean, it's all mine, right? I don't have a weave or anything in there. Yeah. Okay, so are we ready to rock and roll? Let's rock and roll. Let's say our prayer, and then let's talk about reality creation. And just to let you know, this was sparked by, yes, some personal things in my life, but honestly, this topic came up yesterday because the moon's in Leo. Creativity, good fortune, pleasure, all that fifth house stuff. Boy, I got a lot of crap on my desk, don't I? My desk is my dining room table. Another ebook, the 10,000th ebook from Angelo Lyons. My dining room is my dining room table is a desktop. My desktop is my dining room table. Okay, so let's do this. Just one more. I stumbled out of bed and I stumbled in the kitchen, poured myself a cup of ambition, yawned and stretched and tried to come to life. All right. There she is. There she is. Good morning, Dee. Good morning, Luann. Good morning, Luann. I love you, my Luann. All right, let's do our prayer. Now we got more than enough people in the room. Okay. Let me get my feet planted on the ground. I recommend you do the same if you can. I mean, if you're sitting cross-legged in some like yoga pose, you go for it. Rock on with your bendy self. Let's settle in. You know what? I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Moon is in Leo. Apollo sits in the throne of Leo. Let's wear his ring. Nice deep breath. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, we surrender this time spent together to you. May it serve your purposes. And I ask that our collective guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, and healers, please gather around us in a force field of light containing and protecting the work we do together this day. I ask that all information and energy that exchanges between us, both in the physical and in the non-physical, does so clearly, cleanly, and for the highest good of all concerned, so that we can relax in your presence, so that we can have our own inspirations, revelations, clarities about reality creation, because we are here only to be truly helpful. We are here to represent the divine that sent us, so we don't have to worry about what to say or what to do, because the divine that sent us is directing us. So we're content to go wherever the divine sends us, knowing that it goes along with us and that we will be healed as it teaches us to heal. Please show us what you would have us do, where you would have us go, what you would have us say, and to whom. That together as one, hand in hand, mind with mind, heart with heart, we emerge from this time spent together a little bit clearer or a lot of it clearer. Our intent upon manifesting the reality that is for the highest good and well-being of all, and ready to take on what else comes today, known or unknown, for the well-being of all. Thank you, God, Goddess, the pantheons of the divine. I love you. So mote it be. So it is. Reality creation. Let's talk about it. Oh boy. What a loaded subject. Hello, Mari. Welcome, welcome, sweetheart. Oh, my lower back is a little stiff. I didn't get to do my yoga yet today. It's fine. I'll do it later. Yoga with a coffee belly is such a thrill. But you know, you create your own reality. You create your reality. You know, The Secret, which wasn't a secret. I've been doing this a while. Law of attraction, law of deliberate creation, law of allowance, law of electromagnetics, law of karma, law of resonance, magical law, universal law, spiritual law. Oi, can you tell it was a divine masculine pursuit? All that thinking, all of that discipline, all of that visualize this 3 times a day and say this affirmation 100 times an hour and spin around 3 times and spit over your left shoulder, crossing your eyes and holding your breath while dancing the Irish jig. Oh, good God almighty. No wonder we're tired. All of that going on. And obviously we are not in the world we wanted, right? None of what we're going on now is in anybody's vision board. And if we find the MFer that did have this on their vision board, I think we're allowed to witch slap them. Just saying, right? How dare they? No, nobody had this on their vision board. Why nobody visualizing what's going on the planet Earth? At least nobody I want to hang out with, right? Probably they're not watching this stream. So what's the tea? What's the tea? What's the shade? What's the pink lemonade, right? What is that? What is that about reality creation? Because I don't know about you, but as much as I love my home, and I do love my home, I'm very grateful for where I am. I'm very grateful for everything in my life, but that I'd be feeling no matter where I was. That's just part of my path. But there are days when I wake up and I go, this is the highest vibrational reality for the evolution of my soul? Really? Really? And then I'm well aware that the part that says really, really is not my soul. It's the ego. And it's okay that it's the ego. That the ego has things that it wants. It's always going to have things that it wants until it completely unravels, right? And the ego is not the enemy. That's a big no-no teaching. That was a false thing, a necessary thing, but a false thing. The ego is the most densest, dormant aspect of the soul. So we needed that to come into physical form. I mean, how are we going to survive the caveman times without an ego, right? Get away from my woman, funk, right? We needed to be possessive. Survival of the fittest and all of that. Except the soul is immortal and eternal and survives everything. Will even survive what we're doing right now on planet Earth, and really, from a higher dimensional perspective, already survived it. This is already over. All of this is but a dream we are watching, a film that we're watching again, from the eighth perspective and probably higher dimensional self, right? So, yeah, me too, Mel. My ego says that too, and that's okay. It is like a child in that sense. It's like it wants what it wants when it wants it. But here's the thing, and we discussed this in the past couple of streams that I've done here. Once it gets what it wants something else. Really, it's like the non-ending Pez dispenser out of its throat chakra because there's another thing that it's asking for. Well, now I want this. Oh, that was lovely. Now I want this. Oh, that's what I heard about. Did you ever make out with somebody and they kiss like a Pez dispenser, right? Their head rolls back and their tongue pops out, right? It's like, oh, it's like very Aliens all of a sudden. It's Judy Tenuta extrapolation. I miss Judy Tenuta. She needs to work more. Love her. So the ego is just always going to want something else, and that's okay. I mean, it's okay. That's its gig. That's what it does. But it's always something outside. Or then we get on a spiritual path and it starts making these spiritual goals the next things that it wants that still fit the same pattern, right? Well, I want to feel good and I want to feel safe and I want what I want. So I want to be enlightened and I never want to feel bad again. And I want lots of money and I want my soulmate. I want my soulmate. I want my soulmate. And I'm not going to be happy until it comes, but I'm going to make myself feel good and bypass any emotion that doesn't feel good. Otherwise, I'm not going to get what I want. Cue toxic version of law of attraction. Am I right, ladies? Am I right? And if there are any men in this room, I probably shouldn't suppose that there are only women in this group, except probably is. So my guys, my men, my brothers, shout out. I know exactly who my audience is for the most part. After all, I was born to serve mother archetypes, apparently. Just want a bright sunny day. Well, that we know we're going to get eventually. Let's hope. And the truth is, there's nothing wrong with wanting all of those things. The desires of the ego, like there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting things. In fact, what are the chances that our heart's desires are not given to us? Are not ours to give ourselves. They were given to us, right? The life dream things. You know, because I think about it, it's sort of like being gay. I don't remember choosing it. Not once I was here. Like maybe on a soul level, it was chosen for me. I'm still not into that thing like, oh, we chose to come here. Did we choose this or were we chosen? I think we wanted back in the game, but I think the lifetime the name, the embodiment, the script, I think we were like waiting in line. And so my soul was there, you know, just hanging out. You know, I'm sure we have legs, but I just like the idea of being a little Casper the Friendly Ghostish. Just kind of like wiggly tail of leg, just kind of hovering in the afterworld, right? Fifth dimension, whatever you want to call that. Fourth, I don't know. Who cares? Numbers. Spirituality took a left turn for me at Albuquerque the moment they started bringing in numbers. And they're like, hey, we've got a gay witch from Long Island. Anybody interested? And all these hands went up. I said, oh, what did they say? A Freya witch? From what? Oh, okay. And they're like, hey, you, the L-star of Ariel. Oh, you'd be perfect for this. You know, we weren't thinking of you. We were thinking, you know, the guy who was going to play the soul of Frankie Avalon would play that. But no, you, come on. I heard Avalon? What, are we going back to Avalon? Okay, I'm in. And the next thing I knew, whoosh, there I was. Drank from the river Lethe, signed the contract, in you go, poof, you're in, right? Right, total memory wipe. Totally. That's not a very obscure reference, except I'm doing it with a lighter. So, from my understanding, everything that we want is written in to the part that we're playing, that we are not these bodies, we're not our names, we're not, it's not that we're not our personalities, is that the personality is, and the ego is what we came in to absorb, to integrate, to love into wholeness, right? Bringing heaven to earth. And that was probably the mission that I went, oh yeah, I'm totally down with that. Let's bring heaven into earth. Let's merge the two so there's no longer this separation between heaven and earth, right? That's why my urge to go home is so strong. And I don't just mean home where I am now or home where my family is, right, upstate. I mean all the way home, right? To anchor that here. That's the mission. And that's why my urge is so strong, which is incredibly heartbreaking at times, particularly when the world looks like it does, which I've never been through this in this life, but, you know, the Reagan administration. Being a gay man during the Reagan administration was no fun. Well, we had our fun. It was the 80s. But other than that, you know, you really took your life in your hands. I came out of the closet junior year of high school in Bayshore High School, of all places, on Long Island. If it wasn't for a handful of my heterosexual male friends threatening to beat the jeepers out of people who threatened me, I don't know that I would be here today. Really, it was a very cutthroat time. But that was all written in, you know, and that's why the truth that you've done nothing wrong. It's like from the soul's perspective, we've done nothing wrong. Even our worst mistakes, right? We look back at some of those relationships and we go, oh, why did I do that? What a bait and switch. Oh my goodness gracious. And it's like, no, that was written. That was written. Imagine you're cast to play a role in Romeo and Juliet, right? How does it end? Not well. Spoiler, if you don't know that Romeo and Juliet doesn't end well. I want a romance just like Romeo and Juliet. First of all, they were like 13 years old. And second of all, womp, womp. Tragedy, not a comedy. Do you know the difference between a tragedy? And this isn't a joke. I studied Shakespeare. My mistress with a monster is in love. Puck's monologue. Do you know the difference between a Shakespearean comedy and a tragedy? Comedy, the protagonist lives. Tragedy, they die. That's the only difference. We think comedy is ha, 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 and tragedy is nope. That's the difference, at least for Shakespeare, which I always wanted to get a spear and shake it. I studied a lot of Shakespeare. It was just necessary for the schooling I went through. But no, it's written, right? Nobody goes into... Here's the ego's version of reality creation, right? It gets chosen to play Romeo or Juliet and decides, no, I want them to live happily ever after on the Love Boat with Julie McCoy and Isaac, the bartender. In fact, I want Julie McCoy to be Juliet and Isaac, the bartender, to be Romeo. And they're like, dude, dudette, soulette, whatever, Colette. No, honey, this script is already written. Is there anything worse than an actor who wants to change the script, right? No, you can ad lib, and I think we can ad lib, but even the ad libs, I believe, are kind of woven into the quantum variation. I mean, maybe we could stretch it a little bit, but we can't rewrite the divine plan. Why? Because what do we know, right? So then you take into that the idea of I create my own reality, right? We create reality, which, hello, was a necessary truism. I just don't think it is the whole, WHOLE, truth. I don't think it's the whole truth. Proof is in the pudding, like I said. I mean, I love where I am. I'm very grateful. I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. I'm very grateful for where I am and what I have and what's going on in certain areas of my life. And there is a gift in even this horrible situation we're all going through collectively on planet Earth. There is a gift. We can acknowledge it now, but we really won't see it and be able to embrace it, I think, until much later. Do we create our own reality? Well, yes, we needed that originally because Carolyn May said it best. You either create your own reality or you're a victim. Well, of the two, I'm going to choose create my own reality. And certainly the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, even the majority of the past decade, yeah, much rather, still played victim, by the way, because that was a necessary pattern we all have to play out every now and again, right? To learn boundaries and self-esteem and, you know, learn how we victimize ourselves, how we victimize others. That's just part of it, right? Everybody, the victim archetype is one of the 4 survival archetypes. Part of the role that everybody plays has that in it. The child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute archetype. And the prostitute ain't about hooking unless it is, but otherwise it's not. So the newer truth is that you co-create your reality. You co-create your reality. Spotty internet on the East End. Love you all. Have a beautiful day, Mal. Yeah, y'all need to like get rid of some of those Manhattan people. Send them back. Put them back the way they was. I can't believe I just little Abnered us. Mal lives out east on Long Island, and apparently all of the Manhattanites took to their homes, their summer homes. They're living in their summer homes in spring. Que scandale, right? So everybody's on the internet out there as well. What are you going to do? So that's why her stuff is spotty. It's a tad bit spotty. So, Life of Brian. Yeah. So what is the truer truth? That we co-create our reality, right? That we create the narratives, that we have free will, right? It's like, well, if we don't create our own reality, then what happens to free will, right? We're all supposed to have free will. Well, we do have free will. We have the free will to choose the narrative, the story. And in that way, we create our psychological experience of the reality that's already scripted. And again, there's probably some wiggle room, right? If you watched What the Bleep Do We Know? I mean, is it a PhD dissertation on quantum physics? No. It's for not even the layman. It's for the average person dipping a toe into the quantum field, so to speak. But there is that truth in there, at least the quantum truth, that in one quantum variation, I pick up this cup of coffee and I drink it. In another quantum variation, I don't, but a few minutes later, I do that. In another quantum variation, I pick up and I drink the water. In another quantum variation, in that moment, I thwart my fan. In another one, I don't know, I sprout wings and fly away. We don't have access to those other ones. We just have the one that's right before us and right in front of us. And the one that we experience is the highest possibility for the evolution of our soul. and we don't determine that. But the story that we tell, that we get to determine. And that determines how we feel about it. So you co-create your own reality, and you create your experience of what is written. Does that make more sense? Take a minute, breathe that in. Breathe that in. Because in another quantum variation, I'm Piper Halliwell, and I'm married to Leo, and someday we're going to walk up the stairs together and look at pictures. God, that's all I want, right? So really kind of feel that out. It's like, okay, it wasn't that we were sold a lie. We just weren't sold the whole truth, because I don't think we knew the whole truth. I don't even think those who really taught it, right, who really had the mind-blowing, third eye cracking revelations, zapped by truth, right? I don't think that was written at that point, that we really got it. Because if you said to people, yeah, well, you know, you only get to create how you experience it, we would have went, is that all there is? Right? That's it? Is that it? Is that all there is? Is that it? Oh, well, I think I'll go back to playing a victim, right? So like when you were a little kid, you know, they didn't give you Catcher in the Rye day one. They gave you See Jane Run, right? Look, it was only a couple of decades ago that I discovered that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and the Alphabet Song were the same tune. It took me days to recover. I felt so lied to. So obviously we have evolved to an extent that now we can get, oh, we're playing a quantum game. Matt Kahn calls it a play, which I like because it does have that Shakespearean ring to it. All the world's a stage, the men and women merely players, strutting and fretting, etc. I like that. And then you are cast in it. But he also talks about meta incarnation, that you can play the same life over and over and over again, which very much feels like a virtual reality video game for me, right? Like a single shooter player, whatever that's called. I've never played one, but apparently I am, right? So to what extent do we then create our reality? Well, we've been talking about this too. We did a little bit last night, and we're going to extrapolate on that a little bit, and then our meditation will be doing that about indirect manifestation. Which, notice, the word manifestation is not the same as creation. Do you feel the difference? Like, I'm going to manifest something, but that doesn't mean I created it. In other words, the quantum threads, the strings of the string theory, all written. All of them already predetermined and written. Which one you go down, though, is a result of the narrative that you give it, because the narrative determines what? Your emotion. Now, this is where I can bring in Abraham Hicks. Well, hopefully not to speak through me, because that might be copyright infringement. Spiritual copyright infringement. You know, in the 80s and the 90s, there were all these people channeling Archangel Michael and Saint Germain. Like, I don't know. They were like the Elvis and Bono of people to channel. I don't know what that was all about. So I always thought, well, let's get like Met Stadium, if that still exists, Yankee Stadium, and we'll put all of the Archangel Michael channels on one side and all of the Saint Germain channels on the other, and we'll just let them go at it, right? Everybody go. First of all, they should all be in perfect sync on both sides. And then someone could stand in the center and ask a question, and then, beloved masters of the one. It's a certain kind of humor that you had to survive the New Age 90s to get. But anyway, I do crack me up. It's not copyright if you channel it through a Funko Pop. Beloved masters of the one. Oh, but if I'm going to channel it through a Funko Pop, I want it to be a Katerina Petrovna Zabolochikova. But your dad just calls her Katya. She's a big red scare with the long blonde hair. Always keep him coming back for more. I love her. I totally derailed myself, but that tangent was worth it. Oh, that really, really just cracked me up. You are so awesome. Your mind and mine have been connected. Our thoughts so similar. Rock on, Darlene. Darlene was my favorite Mouseketeer back in the day, and I'm talking the black and white Mouseketeers, not those 80s versions in color doing cartwheels. Anyway, so to bring in Abraham Hicks, which is where that tangent then went off the rails, what they talk about, the power of emotion. You're right. It's you do create your reality by the emotion that you feel, because that's the narrative, right? So nobody loves me, everybody hates me, guess I'll go eat worms, is going to attract to you a certain section of the quantum variations in order for you to play that out. All right. If, however, it's I'm walking on sunshine, whoa. I mean, we're looking at a 0 to 10 spectrum there, right? That's going to bring you in that direction. So what Matt Kahn is positing, it's like, it's not that visualizing what you want is wrong or that it's bad. It's just we get attached to the outcome. In other words, the ego took the principles of Course in Miracles, of law of attraction, of reality creation, and used it like a bat to beat us up. Because if it didn't get what we wanted, what did it do? Oh, I must be doing it wrong. Let me do it harder. Oh, I didn't get what I wanted. And yet all of them say the same thing. You have to let go of the outcome. Even in spell work, which I have taught for decades. How many times have I said it? It's called spell casting, not spell strangle the crap out of, right? No, I let go. This is what I really want. I release it to the gods. I release. No, see, I let it go. No attachment to the outcome. And the ego's like, if I don't get what I want, there will be hell to pay, because the witch is back and there's hell to pay. I put a spell on you and now you're mine. Oh, Winifred. I wish they would bring those three back. I mean, in a movie, not literally. I don't need the competition, right? Ricky Lake, the Mouseketeer years. Krusty Panda, I think we need to do shots of tequila together. And there's Malenka. Hey, sweetheart. Malenka Divine. Malenka Divine. Fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. So here's the tea, right? Here's the tea. Here's the shade. Here's the pink lemonade. Visualize, but visualize only for the emotional content, which means go for it. Right? Where's my happy place? Like, what's your happy place? That has totally become a distortion, but you could say what my happy place is on a pink sand beach, because there's not a lot of places that have pink sand beaches, but in the Bahamas, right? So on a pink sand beach, in a chaise lounge, little table next to my chaise lounge with a strawberry daiquiri and a pack of Rothman cigarettes. Rothman cigarettes, really, I've only ever had them in the Bahamas or in the Caribbean. I haven't been there that often, but they are delicious. I love them. I love that combo together. Lovely, right? With a little thatched overhang, right? So that the sun's not directly in my eyes. And coming out of the water in front of me is my boyfriend. And he bears a striking resemblance to Hugh Jackman. And boy, does he have a huge Jackman. It's huge. But he's got a Speedo on, so you could tell, right? And he comes and he sits at the because I'm on a chaise lounge, my legs are there, and I just put my feet on the side, and he comes and he sits, and he just talks to me. And he's got beautiful crystal blue-gray eyes, and he smiles, and he's got like a little stubble because we're on vacation, and his hair's got the little, like, he's brunette. He's a brunette. I'm never dating another blonde again if I can avoid it. No offense to the blondes. Blonde women are fine. The blonde men, no Geminis, no blondes, ixnay on the enblay. But, and he's just chatting with me, and my heart goes, I love you so much. He goes, I love you too. And then out of his Speedo, he pulls a little box and he cracks it open. And it's a prescription for PrEP. This is what happens when I don't do my spiritual practice before I do these streams. I horse laugh. Cardinal sin number 1 on YouTube. Don't horse laugh. Too late. Been there, done that. Have the nay. But you could see why that would be like my happy place, right? And it gives me a certain feeling. Now, the thing is that if I don't let that image go, because what are the chances that, you know, I'm going to be in the Bahamas on a pink sand beach with the cigarettes and, the, you know, like all of those details, and a gay Hugh Jackman with a huge Ackman is going to offer me a ring, right? He cracks the box open and goes, I really want to marry you. Like, I love you. I love you. There's nobody else on planet Earth. And I set all this up just so that I could come out of the ocean, because I know this is your visualization and your happy spot. And I love you, oh man of mine, right? What are the chances of that happening? Slim to none. Slim to none, considering, well, at least not this year, right? This is not going to be happening this year. Traveling to other countries is probably not going to happen for me this year, right? That would be, it would take a miracle, a true blue testicle, a miracle come true. I just monologued you. I mean, this is why I have to take my time and do my spiritual practice before I do these streams in the morning. But it's the feeling, it's that emotion, and what that does is it goes into the subconscious. You create the emotion. You create the emotion. You have the narrative. All of that visualization is just a narrative. It's just a story, but it creates a certain emotion. So the nervous system feels it. Think about it. Crown chakra, inspiration. Third eye, visualization. Throat chakra, choice. Heart chakra, emotion. You are incarnating the thought, right? It's taking on time and space. And it's affecting what? Your biology, right? The nervous system takes it in. The hypothalamus matches that emotion with amino acids and peptides and stuff, and shoots into every cell in your body, right? So it's incarnate. The word incarnation or reincarnation has the word carn in it. It means meat, right? Like carne asada or carnivore, right? So you bring it into flesh. The subconscious mind grabs a hold of it, and the soul empowers it and sends it into the universe. And that's where the law of attraction picks it up and says, okay, according to the law of magnetism, if you want to go there, more of these experiences that feel this way. It's not like I'm going to walk out my door and there's going to be this line of men with huge Ackmans, you know, like ready to marry me. Although that would be pretty cool for a Thursday, I gotta say. But and by the way, of course, we know that even if that played itself out exactly the way that I envisioned it, it would mean, number one, that was the highest probability for the evolution of my soul, which means what? There's going to be problems. Someone's going to cross over eventually. There's going to be bumps in the road. There are going to be issues. There's going to be lessons to learn. So if we're just visualizing and trying to create reality so that we don't suffer or feel bad or feel angry or sad, which sort of rhymes, it's not the point. You're gonna. Even if you got everything that you wanted, you would still be feeling the way that you are. Why? Because you can't circumvent what you came here to do in this life. And if you're an empath, you came here to feel it all. A to Z, soup to nuts. You know? Because I've run through rainbows and castles of candy. And I've cried a river of tears from the pain. I tried to dance with what life had to hand me. My partner's been pleasure, my partner's been pain. I just Stevie next to you. There are days when I swear I could fly like an eagle. And no desperate hours that nobody sees. Such a great song. My arms stretched triumphant on top of the mountain. My head in my hands, down on my knees. Sometimes it's a bitch, sometimes it's a breeze. Sometimes love's blind and sometimes it sees. Sometimes it's roses and sometimes it's weeds. Sometimes it's a bitch. Sometimes it's a breeze. Bon Jovi wrote that for her, by the way. And how cute is Bon Jovi still? I understand he's washing dishes in one of his restaurants, feeding people who are hungry. Oh, he's been married to the same woman since I was in high school. How do we get? Okay, I'm changing my visualization. I want John Bon Jovi. Do you remember him in Ally McBeal? Oh, he's still gorgeous. He's still gorgeous. Oh, the straight men, the straight men. Oh, the world is filled with heterosexual men married to women. Ain't it the truth? So yeah, I just Stevie Nicks you, and I know some of you were singing along. Wilton Manors. oh, you're from Wilton Manors, are you? Yeah, no, I stayed at I stayed at the Royal Palms many years ago with my now unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, deceased ex-boyfriend. So yeah, I am well aware of Wilton Manors, and isn't that where the Latrice Royale is from? Isn't that where my Latrice is from? Wilton Manors. Blessed be Latrice Royale, chunky but funky. I know a lot of the women are going, who is he talking about again? You're in Fort Lauderdale, the Las Olas area. Yeah. You know, I love Florida. I used to go to that New Age place. My friend Chris works there. I think he's one of the owners. I know it's under in a different place right now. He's wonderful. Oh God, you know I suck at names, but he's great, Chris. I should have been with him instead of Danny, but well, there you go. Lessons, choices. So what we're going to do for the remainder of our time is we're going to do that. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to meditate. Now, some of us did this last night. You can pick up where you left off on that one if you like. You can totally mind wipe and do something completely different, but essentially you're going to go to your happy place. I mean, unless you want to feel exactly the way that you are right now, then just keep your eyes open. But if we're going to do this, let's visualize. Let's create a narrative that supports us. So I'm going to talk us into the relaxed place, right? Like that's what I'm good at, getting you to sort of relax. Relaxation is the sign of your alignment, right? We'll go in, we'll visualize. I'll do it a little bit differently than I did last night. And just to elicit some sort of emotion for just a minute or two, right? Not hours, and you don't have to stay there all day long. But if you can breathe into it, if you can allow yourself to feel it, right? That's going to absolutely do the deal. And then notice throughout the day when you are feeling that emotion because of something that popped up. Or maybe it just comes out of nowhere, right? That's part of the mystery of it. But you have to let go of the outcome. Otherwise, if you're like this, it's like those little floaties in your eye, right? You try and look for it, it moves, right? It's just easier this way, I think, right? All right, so get comfortable. Get yourself in a position that you can stay in comfortably for a couple of minutes. Close your eyes and breathe. Hurry up. Relax. Oh my God, what? I pity the fool that got to marry this in the morning. Breathe. Yeah, I'm going to the beach. And, you know, start with a blank palette. Start with like a clean screen, right? A blank canvas. Do you want to be indoors or outdoors? I think that's a good place to start. All right, it's a binary choice. If it's indoors, what kind of room are you in? If it's outdoors, what kind of nature are you in? Where are you outdoors? And it's not that you can't change it just for now, right? You have the fluidity of this. You can change it in a moment, and you can do it again differently another time. So there's no huge investment here. That's part of releasing the outcome. You can release the generalities and the specifics to whatever feels good in the moment, because that's what we're shooting for, feeling good. But wherever you are, relax into it. Relax into it, right? Like you're probably not doing your taxes. You're probably not waiting in line somewhere, unless you are. Right? You're probably not at the DMV. Who visualizes the DMV? And begin bringing in some more generalities. Like if you're indoors, what's the lighting like? What's the furnishings like? If you're outdoors, what time of day is it? What's the temperature? Make it as sensual as possible. And I mean involving the senses, right? We usually start with seeing, right? So what do we see? But you don't have to be so microscopically accurate or specific, right? It can be general. What are the sounds? What are the physical sensations? What's the temperature in the air? What are you wearing? Ooh, who are you wearing? And just let it evolve. What are you feeling? And breathe. I'm trying to avoid bringing specific people into it, right? So even if there is someone specific that you want, go for their general type. It just makes it easier, in my opinion. Someone who feels like that. And wherever it is that you are, just let it be and let it develop. The imagination is a powerful thing, but the subconscious mind can be introducing elements as you go as well. Whatever you're feeling, just let it be. Breathe into it. And breathe. What does this feel like? And I do ask that the soul take this emotion, absorb it, strengthen it, and tell the universe to bring us more experiences so that we can feel this way. And whatever happens in the physical world happens in the physical world. I let that go. I let go and let God receive all energies. I let go and let Goddess receive all energies that I have created. Release it all to the will of the greater power of love. I trust that everything is becoming fully balanced in its own time and place. And I accept that there is a greater good, a divine plan manifesting in my life here and now, and for the well-being of all. Thank you. Thank you for this feeling. A feeling I've been wanting and waiting for my whole life, and I have permission. I have the wherewithal, I have the ability to evoke this feeling without a single thing changing in the outside world. That's power. That's reality creation. And whether it's meant to come into physical form or not, I hand that over. Because does it matter if I get to feel this way? And I'm going to assume, which I know we shouldn't do, Don Miguel Ruiz, but I'm going to assume that the more I visualize this, the more I'm going to feel it. And the more I embrace it without doubting it, without poking holes in it, the more my life will move in that direction. Because there's nothing wrong with what I want. And what if I didn't even give myself these heart's desires? What if they were written in? What if they were written on my heart by the gods themselves? Then I'm doing what I came here to do. I'm following my directives, following the plan, following the script to the T. As I'm now going to let this go, taking a few deep breaths. Goodbye, you, for now. And as I'm ready, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, and allow your eyelids to be the last things that move as you open them outwards into the room. Oh. Hey. Hey. Now I'm going to get you my friend Chris's name in Fort Lauderdale. Go back. I mean, he's public. Hey. Oh, I know a better way to do this. Sorry, I really shouldn't be doing this while I'm live streaming at the same time. But man, what a heavy morning. Yeah, I know, right? Well, no one ever said that this was all cake, right? Oh, no, that's not what I want. That's not what I wanted. C-H-R-I-S. Oh. Okay. Chris Johnson. Yes. Well, you have Chris Johansson. I have Chris Johnson. Co-owner of Love and Light Spiritual Emporium. That's my friend. I've only been in the same physical space with him once or twice, and we went down there for vacation, and that was years ago, but he's a wonderful man. It's absolutely not all cake, but man, could I use a big slice right now? I know, a nice set of cakes, man. Oof. Let's not go there on YouTube. Talk amongst yourselves. So there you have it. There's my offering for you today. Now, the truth of the matter is that I already have the last of the Path of True Love reads done. They're already up. They will be posting at 7:30, 8, and 8:30. That's the schedule that I like putting them out for. So this way people get a little evening entertainment. Excuse me. Well, my contact lens wants a life of its own. Come back to center, darling. Because you're only in the outskirts, in the fringes. There we go. It was just a little right of center. I felt more natural to visualize this morning than it did last night for some reason. Thank you, Mel. You are welcome, because it's one of those things. Repetition is the mother of skill, said by Tony Robbins, another man I would love to climb, but, you know, married with kids. And I don't want to disrupt his marriage, because that's not who I want to be in this life. Man, is he powerful. Man, is he tall. And oh, that plunge pool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. Tony Robbins plunge pool. Thank you, Mark. Peace to you and peace to you all. Let's send you off with this. Ready? Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, may all who are watching this live or later be blessed with everything that they need today, before they even know it, but particularly in terms of indirect manifestation. Help them, guide them, take them by the hand as they extend it outwards to say, show me where you would have me go, what you would have me do, what you would have me say, and to whom, that I may experience more of my power, regardless of what's going on around me in terms of indirect manifestation, that I can choose the narrative of this. And there's always going to be a higher narrative. So whether that's choosing, wanting, intending to think a better feeling thought or a visualization, however that comes, may it come today, and may we be open, ready, and to receive it for the well-being of all. Why? Because that would be stunning. That's why. Thank you, my gods, my goddesses, my masters. Thank you for getting me out of bed all fatutzed and ready to do this work today. And hail, farewell, blessed be. Thank you, my gods. Thank you for the well-being of all. So motivate. And so it is. Loving you all so much. Have a really, really great day. We'll see what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to start doing some of the spiritual practice videos today, but it's going to take me a little while to get them up. I have a feeling in, because you know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is Beltane. So what we're going to do for sure is we are going to do something at 9 p.m. in the Mark Angelo Lyons Mel for Short private Facebook group. If you're not in and you want in, just find us on Facebook. We'll let you in. And then we'll do something at 11 p.m. here tomorrow as well. Cool, cool. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the rest of the day. I love you all. So, any Beltane suggestions for later? We'll talk about we'll talk about that tonight. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll talk about Beltane later tonight in the evening stream. But for now, hail, farewell, and blessed be. Bye-bye.